I glanced around nervously, wondering again what I had done to deserve this. I, Xin, a mortal, was brought to the 9 heavens. I didn't know why, and frankly was simply too exhausted to care. I just hoped that I didn't accidentally offend anyone. I was escorted up thousands of steps and stopped to catch my breath at the top. This wish was not granted as one of the soldiers shoved me forward, causing me to trip and fall into someone's back. Despite my exhaustion, I quickly retreated and bowed. I am so sorry. I tripped. I didn't mean to, I swear. I managed to pant out before falling to one knee. I glanced up to see how much trouble I was in and blanked. Oh, shit, I whispered and fell forward into a bow. Please forgive me, Emperor Lord. I fucked up. I was going to die without even knowing the reason for my being there. I couldn't believe that I fell into the most powerful and feared being alive, Dong Hua Dijun. I heard a laugh as I finished my internal woes. I peeked up through my lashes to see what amused him so. He stared at me with one black brow raised in curiosity, one side of his elegant lips turned up into a smirk. How dare you speak so vulgarly in front of the Emperor Lord? Your insolence certainly is not helping your case, mortal. Someone had the audacity to yell at me. Okay, now I'm pissed. I'm tired, confused, hungry, and now I'm pissed. I whirled around to snap at the soldier. Excuse you! What case exactly am I to be helping? I don't even know why I'm here. To my knowledge, I have done nothing to offend the gods, nothing to warrant such treatment, regardless if, to you, I am simply a worthless mortal. Indeed, I have had no contact with the gods, nor have I ever spoken their names. My profanity is simply an expression of my current mental faculties. You have not let me rest since you accosted me in my home, and I have no more control over my tongue as I have control over my feelings on the matter, so forgive me if I express my thoughts verbally for the time being. I am simply too tired and hungry to care anymore. I took a deep breath and turned around and walked past the Emperor Lord into the building. Now, if we are done wasting time, I would love to hear the reason for my visit to this wretched realm and return to my own. I paused and glanced back over my shoulder before sighing again. I turned and bowed. Forgive me, Emperor Lord, for my harsh words in your presence. If you wish to punish me for my so-called insolence, would you mind terribly doing so later? I must be out of my mind to speak to him in such a way, but I had not lied earlier when I had said that my tiredness was affecting my filter. His smile from before was gone, and his posture more rigid, yet I could still see a hint of amusement behind the insult in his eyes. You are forgiven. For now. He turned to the soldiers and told them, Bring her to me when the Heaven Lord is finished. He walked past me into the building. Apparently, he was to bear witness to whatever came next. Most likely my execution. Fantastic. I hissed as one of the soldiers roughly took my arm and dragged me forward. Turns out it was a case of mistaken identity. Someone who looks like me was to be punished before the Heaven Lord for something or other. I stopped listening when I found that it no longer involved me. I did clue in long enough to hear that, because of my complete and utter disrespect in front of the Emperor Lord, I was to be brought to his palace to be punished. The soldiers were no less gentle with me on the way to the palace than they were on the way to this realm. They threw me into Dong Hua's chambers and bowed as I struggled to get up. Damn this realm and its horrible, horrible citizens. They were ordered to leave. I could hear them laughing and jeering once the door was closed about what sort of punishment I would be given. I managed to turn just enough to glare at the door viciously before completely collapsing to the floor again. Ugh. The Emperor Lord watched me from his place at the head of the room, and I took a few deep breaths before continuing quietly. I don't suppose you would allow me to rest a bit before disciplining me, unless you are to kill me, in which case please do so quickly, as I can no longer bear the state I am in. Seeing as you have addressed me by my title, you know who I am. I managed a nod, struggling to stay awake. Do you know my reputation? Another nod. I see. Your carelessness today could have been your undoing if you were indeed the one Heaven Lord seeks. Your luck has yet to run out. Shall we see how long it lasts? I only managed a low grunt as my eyes finally closed, and I passed out. As I gazed down at this mortal, I couldn't help my amusement. This little thing had such audacity. To profane in front of me, to loose her tongue in such a manner in my presence. Her thoughts, as well, are interesting. I might have to keep her around. There would be only one way to do so without garnering too much attention, however. I slowly stood and walked over to the mortal. It seems the guards were too harsh in their treatment of her. Already bruises are forming on her arms, and there was a cut on her cheek I had not noticed before. Seems the Heaven Lord needs to speak to his soldiers about their behavior soon. They were becoming too wild. My focus returned to the girl as she snuffled in her sleep. Bringing my magic to the surface, I willed her human form into that of a fox. One tail only, of course, it wouldn't do to anger the fox clan. I picked her up, and as I set her down, I realized that I did not know her name. Although, of all the things said that day, I suppose that her name would be the one that was, at the time, the least important.